easy and fun edible crafts using Peeps.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
First up are little Peeps in race cars. Now for the steering wheel, you can use a pretzel. I found these yogurt covered pretzels which would be perfect on their own, but I wanted to add little sprinkles to them just to give them a little more color. So I dipped them into some white candy melts, put them on some waxed paper, and then just sprinkled on a few colorful Easter kind of pastel colored sprinkles, and just let those harden and then continue on to the next step. Now the race car is a little Twinkie, and all you need to do is cut out a little piece to fit that Peep and that steering wheel on there. So I just kind of lined them up on top of the Twinkie, and I just scored the top of the Twinkie just so I know how much to cut. And then you just cut off a little section. Don't go too deep in there because the Twinkie will fall apart. And what you do with your little Twinkie piece that you cut out is completely up to you. Now, I want to attach the wheels, and I didn't want the Twinkie to sit flat on the counter. I wanted the wheels to kind of hold the Twinkie up with a space underneath, if you know what I mean. So I used a cookie just as a spacer because I had those cookies on my counter, and you'll see I use those later in this video. And then I attached the wheels, which are little miniature cookies, with some more of that white candy melt. If you don't have these white candy melts, you can just use plain melted chocolate for this. And then I attached all four wheels. Now, once I let this harden and then pull that cookie out from underneath, I realized the Twinkie kind of collapsed in the middle and it kind of sunk down. So I ended up leaving the cookies underneath to support it. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can just put the Twinkie flat on the counter and attach the wheels. That way the wheels will just be a little higher. Now, I put a little bit more candy melt in the middle, and then I placed the steering wheel pretzel, or would that be windshield? I'm not sure. And then the Peep. And that's it. It's done. So cute. Just put these in the refrigerator and let them set. And look how cute that is. So cute. Next one are Peeps on skateboards. I did this two ways. The first one is I actually made the skateboards using a plain sugar cookie recipe. Now, I'm not going to go through all the details of this recipe. I've done this particular sugar cookie many times on my channel. What's special about this sugar cookie recipe is it is a non-spreading cookie. So once you cut it out and put it in the oven, it stays exactly the same shape, which is perfect if you're making things like little skateboards. So I rolled it out, and then I cut out a piece of paper that was skateboard shaped to the size that I wanted, and then I just cut it out using a sharp knife, and I put them on a cookie sheet, and I wanted the one end of the skateboard to tilt up a little bit, to curve upward, so I put a metal spoon underneath it just to support it while it was baking, and then I baked them until they were done. Now for the wheels, I'm using Lifesaver candies, and the hub of the wheel I'm going to place a little sprinkle. So I just put a little bit of white candy melts there to act as the glue, and then I added some sprinkles. You could add M&Ms, other candies, whatever you'd like. There's the completed skateboard that I flipped upside down, and now I'm going to attach the Lifesaver wheels using a little bit more of white candy melts. And then finally, we're going to attach our little Peep. You just dipped the bottom of the Peep in the white candy melts and then just attached it to the skateboard. And then you can decorate these skateboards any way you want. You can decorate the tops of them, the edges of them. I added a little gummy carrot to the tops of these, and I even added a little chocolate egg to one of them. Now, if you don't have these little gummy carrots that I'm going to show you here in a moment, you could make your own little carrot by using Starburst candies and some little gumdrops. I have a video that I'm going to link at the end of this one. It actually shows you a way you can make these yourself, and it's another really cute edible Easter craft. Now, another kind of skateboard that I made were just using plain old cookies. You don't have to make your own cookie. You can just use a sandwich cookie. And I use these little Canadian Smarties, which are like M&Ms. I attached a little sprinkle to each one, and I just attached them to the bottom of the cookie with some white candy melts. And that makes a cute little skateboard. And then I just added the Peep and a gummy carrot. And this is really easy. It's super quick. And this is something you could make with the kids as a fun little edible craft. And here they are close up. And they are super cute. And finally, we're going to make a little Peep house. To make this one, you will need 5 whole graham wafers plus 1/2 of a graham wafer that we're going to cut into a triangle shape. And at first I tried using a little steak knife, and nope, they kept breaking. So I just switched to a pair of scissors, and this worked like a charm. I just shaved off a little bit using some clean kitchen scissors. You just want to make a little triangle shape that's going to hold the peak of our roof. And then I'm using, again, white candy melt, but you can use plain old chocolate. And then adding those pieces together. This is the hardest part. It takes a little bit of patience because you kind of have to hold them, just hold them there for a few seconds, maybe up to a minute or so until the chocolate sets. The chocolate sets fairly quickly, but if you're doing this with very small children, it's kind of frustrating. You might want to actually put the houses together prior to, if you're doing it with very small children, and then just let them decorate them afterwards. But if you're dealing with a little bit older kids, they probably could manage doing this on their own. And then we're going to attach the roof. And like I've already said, the secret of these is to just put the graham wafer crackers onto the melted candy melt and just hold it. Hold it for a few seconds and it actually starts to set quite quickly. And then I added an extra little bead on the peak of the roof just to make sure that they were stuck together. And then the fun part. Now my roof's a bit crooked there. Please, I'm not much of an architect. Then we're going to add some decorations. Now, of course, if you're dealing with kids, you just put out a whole bunch of different kinds of candies and sprinkles and just let them create. I added some Canadian Smarties to the roof. I was looking for those spring M&Ms that are pastel colors, but I couldn't find them. So I did the Canadian M&Ms on the roof. And then I added these little duck and tulip sprinkles on the top. And then these little egg-shaped sprinkles I put on the edge of the roof. Then I added some sprinkles to the front edge just to add a little bit more decoration. I had these little candy bunny heads that I added to the sides. And then finally, to display these, I recommend you use paper plates. I'm using a glass plate because I was only making the one. To glue that house down, a little bit of white candy melt or chocolate, and then I added some grass colored sprinkles and then a few other decorations like little chocolate eggs and some more sprinkles. And it just kind of finishes it off, makes it look like a little house in a field with a bunny inside. Really, really cute. These Easter Peep houses are really, really cute. There's the front lawn, there's some roof detail, and the side. I hope you give these ones a try. Now, here is the video I was talking about earlier. It's little edible garden boxes. It's another little edible craft I have on my channel. So if you want to see this video, go ahead and click on your screen. Thank you so much for watching.